Morning to everybody out there. I just figured I'm going to do a little bit of a Premier League preview, but a little bit different. See, I'm going to be making some breakfast as well, so you might hear some hissing, some spitting and stuff like that from the frying pan, making a cup of tea as well. Here we are. Here's a cup of tea. So we're just going to go through it. It's going to be an unedited Premier League preview. I don't even know if what I'm making is going to be ready by the end of the video, but hey, it's a little bit of fun. You can see the Coca-Cola fridge in there as well. There's no sponsors here. We just bought it because it's not, our normal fridge isn't big enough for us. So yeah. Anyway, no sponsorship. It's all right. No, that's fine. There we go. Yeah, no sponsors here. Anyway, yeah. So we're going to go through it. Obviously, the Liverpool game. I've already done a preview of that. Do check it out on the channel. It's another 3-minute preview. But this one, I'm just going to kind of, talk through some teams, and we're going to kick off obviously with Burnley versus Everton. Now, Burnley versus Everton it's an interesting game. Okay, you've got Burnley that have not won, I think, in their last 12 games. They had a great start to the season and haven't done so well recently, obviously. But they have done well. I think Sean Dyche is still probably the best manager for them, and probably would not have done as well at Everton anyway, because Everton don't seem to be doing very well right now. I don't know why they signed this striker, Cenk Tosun, or however you say his name. Doesn't get any game time. Doesn't get any game time whatsoever, really. And I think they've got to give someone like that a bit of a chance. They really do, because having someone like him who looks like a target man, who's been compared to the Turkish Higuain, loosely, obviously, because Higuain's quite a world-class striker, I just think he looked like he was going to be the perfect sort of signing. You've got Walcott on the wings and stuff like that as well. You've got fast players that can deliver the ball into the box, and I just figure, why wouldn't you have someone like that starting more? Give him more of an opportunity. That's all I'm saying. Burnley, on the other hand, they need to start picking up wins. Now, obviously, I think they're only just below Arsenal in the table. I think they're on 37 points, which is quite something. They're 7th in the league still. They had a very, very good run. Obviously, they had a really, really great run in the league, which has obviously propelled them long time ago into the top 4. They were doing really well. Obviously, they're having a bit of a slump right now, but I still think that they're a good team. I still think that they're going to have too much for Everton, to be honest. And this isn't just because I'm a Liverpool fan and I don't want Everton to win. I just think that Burnley will have too much for this one. I think you're going to be looking at maybe a 1-0 victory, possibly a score draw, but I think no likely it's going to be a 1-0 victory to Burnley. We're going to kick it straight on to Southampton versus Stoke. Two teams, I think, that are they in the relegation zone? Let me just look at this now. I can't remember where they are in the league. It doesn't actually say on my app. Never mind. Let's have a look at the table though. So the table is saying Southampton are 16th, Stoke are 19th. So it's not looking great for these two teams. Southampton, in the last couple of seasons that we've known anyway, have been one of those teams that are getting into the top 4, and not getting into the top 4, getting into that top 8, I was meant to say, getting into the top 8, doing quite well and playing some really good football, and also being able to lose their highest rated players and stuff like that, their top players, and be able to, continue their progress. Now it seems like they've gone that one step too far. They've let too many of their top players go. More of them to us at Liverpool, okay, obviously Van Dijk being the last one, but bloody hell, we picked up a lot of them. Lovren, Lallana, Sadio Mane, Van Dijk, Nathaniel Klein, probably a few that I'm maybe missing out as well, but they've let a good few of their players go, and I think this could be a season where they're either going to scrape by and stay in the Premier League, or they could get sucked into it. I mean, Swansea don't look like they're doing too bad right now. They were in a hell of a position not a couple of weeks ago. Let's flip those bad boys. So they look like they were in a bit of a mire, but their manager looks like he's doing a lot better than Southampton's is at the moment. There we go, that sounds nice. So Stoke, on the other hand, Stoke are not a team I saw in the bottom 3. I didn't even see them really in the bottom half. You just don't know what you're going to get with Stoke. Now, Stoke look like they're playing a bit better football, but they're going to have to do something miraculous to get out of this relegation fight. For the two teams involved, I think they both need a win. I think they're both going to get a draw. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw between Southampton and Stoke. I just don't think either of them have got it to win this game. I just don't. Leicester v Bournemouth. Now, that's going to be an interesting game, because Bournemouth were behind last week against Newcastle. They were losing 2-0, brought the game back to 2-2, and that is how it finished. So, I mean, they were looking quite positive there. Bournemouth sitting in 11th, and who are they playing? Can't remember now. Leicester. Leicester are sitting in 8th. So, Leicester, really, they can't really be complaining, I don't think. Obviously, they were Premier League champions a couple of seasons ago, but I think if you were to ask Leicester fans, aside from that season, if you were to put Leicester in the top 10 in the league, they'd probably be alright with it. So I think they're not doing too badly. Obviously expectations are probably going to be a bit different because they were Premier League champions and such like that as well. But I just think that, they're doing alright. Bournemouth, again, are doing okay. They look like a team earlier on in the season that were on their way down. They looked like they were a team that just couldn't buy a win. They just looked like they were going to be in that relegation fight as well. But they're doing all right now. They're not doing too badly. In fact, they're only 5 points off Burnley. They're not doing too bad at all. Now, obviously, these two teams, I think Leicester have got too much in this one. And the reason why, I think you've still got, obviously, Jamie Vardy's still scoring goals. Riyad Mahrez is coming back into the team after his transfer saga over January and such like that. He's come back in. I just think they're going to have too much. The only downside I would say to Leicester right now would be Kasper Schmeichel and that back line. They don't seem to be performing as they have done in previous seasons, where Kasper Schmeichel was linked to big club moves and he just didn't move. He's made a lot of mistakes, in my opinion. I think most notably when they were playing Man City recently. Now, obviously, playing Man City is difficult for any team. But you don't go and hand the ball to one of their attacking players and stuff like that. You just don't. So I think that's the only downfall they could have, and Bournemouth could capitalise on that. They've got some very pacey players, attacking players as well. Who knows? Kind of thinking about it, I think Bournemouth could have the edge on this one here. I'm going to sit on the fence though, and I think it's going to be a 2-2. I think it's going to be a Desmond. It's going to be a 2-2 all draw. So we're going to move on to Tottenham versus Huddersfield. Now this is again one of those things. Tottenham, in their previous match, I think it was against Crystal Palace. Against Crystal Palace, they did not look very, very good, I've got to be honest. They really didn't look very good. I say they didn't look very good, right? They had a lot of chances. Harry Kane had a lot of chances, really, really did, and just didn't take them until the 89th minute. Now, I think Crystal Palace were actually unfortunate in that one, but I do think that they were quite lucky. I think that they did get quite lucky, and I think they were quite fortunate that Crystal Palace didn't have most of their starting 11. Like, they had a lot of injuries to deal with, which is credit to Crystal Palace for actually being able to deal with that, with a game like Tottenham, a team like Tottenham, I should say, where they've got so many good players, so many top-rated players, and they held on, and it almost looked like it was going to be a draw, but Harry Kane, that man, picks up his 35th goal of the season, and it was ridiculous. It was very, very lucky in my opinion, but that is what football is built on. Now, Huddersfield, on the other hand, can't remember who Huddersfield recently played, and they are 14th in the league. Now, this is how tight the bottom 10 is. So I think from number 10, which is Watford, there is 6 points between 10th place and 18th place. Okay, so it's very, very tight up and down that bottom 10. Huddersfield can perform very well. Huddersfield also do falter a little bit, but I think Huddersfield actually won 4-1, was it last week? I think they won. I'm not sure, I'm just going to double check, but I think that they won 4-1 last week, and I just can't remember if they did or not. Did they? Huddersfield? No. Huddersfield beat Bournemouth 4-1 a couple of weeks ago, but anyway, that's by the by. But it beat West Brom 2-1 most recently. I can't remember who I was thinking of. Might have been Brighton, actually, never mind. Anyway, Huddersfield can perform very well, and they've definitely got it in them, but I just think this is going to be Tottenham's game, in my opinion. And I think that Tottenham will run out 2-0. I think you're obviously going to see your token Harry Kane goal, and whoever the other goal comes from. Could even be someone like Lamella, who's been playing pretty well recently as well. You never know. It's up in the air on that one, to be honest. Swansea versus West Ham. Swansea versus West Ham is an interesting one. Okay, because West Ham right now, as of like 2 days ago, social media wise, is in a complete meltdown. I'm just going to take a sip. Oh, there we go. That was nice. That was nice indeed. West Ham social media is in meltdown at the moment. They were meant to be marching against the board and stuff like that as well, and that's all been cancelled. Supporters groups and stuff like that have been taken in. Quite a lot of donations and stuff like that, and now obviously it doesn't look like a lot is happening with that, or they're donating it to Isla's Fund or something like that, but not all of it's being donated, and now the West Ham fan base looks like it's in absolute shreds. It looks like it's being shredded apart. So many different people have so many different opinions, and it looks like a really dire time, to be honest with you. They have got a difficult game coming up against Swansea. Now Swansea are being able to put results in pretty much. They're doing very well, to be honest. Their position in the league doesn't display how well they've actually been playing, to be honest. And I think Swansea are going to have the edge here. I think Swansea are going to have the edge in terms of attacking. I know, obviously, you're talking Hernandez, you're talking Arnautovic, you're talking Lanzini if he's fit. They've got some good attacking players. It's at the back is where West Ham are going to falter. It really is. It's at the back that is where they're going to falter. Swansea have a very good goalkeeper in Fabianski. They really do. Their back line is probably just a smidgen better than West Ham's. And going forward, they've got options. They really do. They've got options. They've got the Ayew brothers as well. I just think Swansea are going to have this one. I really do. I think Swansea are going to win this one 2-1. I really do. I just think that Swansea, with this victory, depending if results go their way, obviously if they win, they would go level on points with West Ham, which would obviously drag West Ham further to that relegation zone, depending on how results go for other teams as well. It's very, very tight, as I say, and I just don't think it's going to be the weekend for West Ham fans. Watford v West Brom. I'm a fan of Watford. Not like a literal fan, but I am a fan of Watford in the way that they play. I just think the way that they take it to big teams, they really do. Opening day of the season against Liverpool, 3-3. They went and beat Chelsea, I think it was. Did they beat Chelsea or was it Arsenal? Did they beat both? I think they beat both, didn't they? I can't even remember. I think, was it like, it might have been Watford. I can't remember if it was 4-1 or not. Anyway, regardless of that, they take it to the big teams and they do really well. It's against the teams that are around them they do tend to struggle against. And obviously coming up against West Brom, another team that is just struggling beyond belief. Really, really struggling. And you struggle to find a way that West Brom are actually, where are they going to pick a victory up from here? Like, where are they going to pick up these valuable points? Now, obviously, there's 30 points left to play for in this league. Let's not forget that. There's 30 points to play for in this league. And I'm telling you now, not everyone's going to get the 30, obviously. Maybe Man City is probably the closest that'll be to getting the actual full 30. But other than that, 30 points to play for. West Brom, I just don't think West Brom are going to do it. I just think that this is the Pardew effect in full effect. I think they're just going to fail. I just don't think that they're going to make it, and I just think that they're going to struggle until the end of the season, and they're just going to drop off, and that's going to be their season done. So, with that being said, I do think that Watford will have I think they're just going to have it over West Brom. I've said that about a few matches today. I just think that they will. I think they've got different options. That Dale Ofeu, who obviously played for Everton, but looks like he's playing really well for Watford right now. He's been quite a difference maker in his pace and delivery. You've got Troy Deeney up front when he wants to be. That Okaka, who looks like an absolute tank. Absolutely unbelievable when he came on the other day. I can't remember who it was against. Might even been a couple of weeks ago. And he's firing shots at the goalkeeper that look like absolute sledgehammers. Unbelievable stuff. And Richarlison, people like that, they look like a very talented team. I think that Watford are going to win this one 2-0 at least. I'll say that now, at least. Now, coming on to Sunday, because obviously the Liverpool game I've already covered in a different preview. Brighton versus Arsenal. Straight off the bat, I think Brighton are going to win this game. Because, I know obviously Arsenal fans aren't going to like that, because why would they? But I do. I just think that they're going to do it over Arsenal. Because it's Arsenal away from home. Arsenal away from home don't do well this season. They don't. They very rarely do well. Arsenal right now, in terms of fan base, the players, the club, the manager, everything like that, everything seems quite negative. Everything looks like it's up in the air. They're not doing very well. They've had back-to-back defeats off Man City, which again is no mean feat, because Man City are one of those teams that can do that against anyone, and they've done it to teams this year. They did it to us. They beat us 5-0. Obviously, we came back and we won 4-3 against them in the second fixture of the league, but still, I think the difference with these games right now is that the fans are looking at it. Our team doesn't show fight. It doesn't show desire. It doesn't show passion. It almost looks like it's difficult to say. I can't say I'm not an Arsenal fan. It looks like they don't care. almost. It looks like they're just kind of like, we'll see how the first 20 minutes go, and then if it doesn't go our way, we'll just down tools, and that's going to be it. And I just think that Brighton got a very positive result the other week. I think 4-1, that's no mean feat against anybody, really. You know, I just think that Brighton have got different attacking options. I think they've got a better... Right now, I think they've got a manager that has instilled something in their team, in the club, in the players, and the people that he's brought in. I think Jurgen Locadia got his debut goal in the Premier League or something like last time, and it was a 4-1 victory. I just think that they're going to have this again, and it's at home to Brighton as well. So I think that should be absolutely fine. That should be all good. Sorry, I thought I could hear something out there. Oh, there we go. Bagels. Way, awesome. So yeah, I think Brighton are going to have this one over Arsenal, and I think they're going to look at this, and I think it's going to be a 2-1 victory. And I don't think things are going to get any easier for Arsenal or their fans. I really don't. You know, and I don't like being negative about other teams and stuff like that, because I'm not one of those types of fans. I'm not purposely negative towards other teams. Moving on, big game of the weekend, in my opinion. Manchester City versus Chelsea. Unbelievable stuff. Now, obviously, in my opinion, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I think Man City are going to take this one, and I think they're going to take it with a bit of ease. I just think Man City right now, when Man City looked bad this season, they were still picking out wins and like one draw or something like that. When Man City are on fire, they are unstoppable. They really are. And in my opinion, they are now unstoppable to the end of the season. I'm just going to go get some cheese, so just bear with us a minute. But no, I do. I think that Man City are going to win this one. And I think they're going to get it quite comfortably. Because I think that they've got different talent levels of Chelsea. I think Chelsea right now look like they're coming in, like they're doing a little bit better. But I also think Man City are a juggernaut right now. They are a juggernaut, and they just don't look like they're going to stop. I think this is going to be their running for the rest of the season. They're going to do well. Obviously, Chelsea could throw you a curveball, but obviously the performance that they put in against Man United, I think was it last weekend, it looked like, for a while, it looked like Chelsea were going to win. And then the second half comes out. Obviously, it was drawing 1-1 at that point. Lukaku had got a goal. And second half, Chelsea just dropped off. Didn't look like they wanted it enough. And that's against Man United. And Man United are second in the table. Okay, now you're coming up against the best team in the Premier League right now. You cannot put a performance in like that against Man City at all. You've got to be on it from minute 1 to minute 90 plus. And I just don't think that Chelsea will be. I think Chelsea are going to suffer quite a loss here. I think it could even be maybe... I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go out on it. And I think that Man City are going to beat Chelsea at the Etihad 4-1. I think it's going to be quite comprehensive. Now, I'm just going to have a look and see, do we have any games on Monday? I have no idea. Do we have any games on a Monday? Monday, Crystal Palace versus Man United. Wow. Crystal Palace versus Man United. That is going to be quite a game. Okay, so if Crystal Palace can do what they did against Tottenham for most of the game, if not all of the game, they could very well get something from this game. Depending on the Man United that turns up. Now, if Man United turn up like they did against Chelsea, Crystal Palace are going to be in for a hell of a time. They really are. But if they turn up like they have sometimes this season, where it doesn't look like they've been very interested, doesn't look like they've been performing at their level, shall we say. They haven't been performing at maybe the highest level of all time. If they turn up like that against Crystal Palace, you just can't risk it. You've got to be on it all the time. Even against a team like Crystal Palace, you can say what you want, but all you've got to look at is Crystal Palace, if nothing else, seem to be showing heart and desire. Okay, they've got first team players out. Obviously, their key player would have been Wilfried Zaha. I think he's still going to be out for this game. So God knows how they're actually going to line up. But one of the things that you can say about Roy Hodgson, obviously we can say a lot about Roy Hodgson, obviously being an England manager and such like that as well. But I just think that I think that United are probably going to take it. To be honest, they'll stay in second, even if we win our game, whatever. I think that they will take it, but I think that Crystal Palace will take it to Man United. I don't think Man United are going to have an easy game here. It's at Crystal Palace's ground as well, so I don't know. It all depends on what, do Man United feel inspired? Do they feel like well up for this game? If they do, they've got more, they're more than capable of taking this one with the talent levels they've got. Lukaku, Alexis Sanchez, Pogba, Martial, people that can come on from the bench, Rashford and such like that as well. They've got such talent levels. It's whether they go with the right mentality, the right formation, the right tactics, and the right drive as well. They've really got to go with the right drive against someone like Crystal Palace. You can't take it for granted just because of where they may be in the league, and I haven't even looked at where they are in the league. But let's just have a quick look now. Crystal Palace are 17th, so they are equal on points with Swansea, who are 18th. I think goal difference just is keeping them above them. So even so, it could be one of those where Crystal Palace end up in the drop zone after this weekend. I don't like predicting a Man United win, but I've got to be realistic, and I do think that this will be a 3-1 victory for Manchester United, who will stay second this weekend, and Crystal Palace may end up in the drop zone. Anyway, that's it. My bagels are done, and they're looking pretty nice. Got some cheese on there, got some tomato sauce on there, and my brew is still... It's a bit cold, because this has been a 20-minute video. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it hasn't been too noisy for you. I don't know if this is going to be a regular thing. I just felt like, you know what, I'm going to make some burgers this morning. It's like 9:30 in the morning. Why not? So yeah, let me know if you've liked it. if you've stayed this long, that's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, thank you ever so much for watching. Do like the video. Get your thoughts in about your team, your club, everything like that. Or if you're just a neutral and you love football, get your thoughts in on the weekend below. And yeah, thank you ever so much for watching, as always, and I will catch you later.